What's up, my people? Welcome back again to Karen Online TV. Guys, thank you for your support, guys. Keep supporting, keep subscribing, keep sharing, guys. Na msikose kucomment. Also comment hapo chini na msikose kushare, guys, ndo to grow pamoja.
My name is Jean Jogu. I come from the Central Province of Kenya and at Murang'a district. By then it was. I come from a family of 9 children. My parents didn't live together. They were not separated, but my father always lived in Nairobi and my mother up country. She was a farmer and not most of the times she was doing work at people's shambas, homes. So she lived as a casual laborer. So there was a problem in the family. The family was not well up. She was trying so hard for us to eat, to get daily bread and other needs. As I grew up, when I was still very young, I noted that my mother didn't like me. She hated me, and in a big way. She used to beat me so much, and there was no mistake that could go and be forgiven. Nothing could happen for my mother to forgive me. Nothing happened, and she used to beat me so much. I lived a life of which I always longed I could live that home since I was very young, due to the way she was beating me. I grew up with my young ones. I lived like, I can say somehow, a house girl, because after 2 years, my mother gave birth and I was the one to care for the young one. Not only that, all the other ones. So I was taught how to prepare food when I was very young. So when she went to work, wherever she was going, I was left with them. I had to care for them, to cook for them. Many mistakes used to happen. So I was beaten almost every day, and heavy beating. There were times when she used to say she wants me to die when beating me. There is no time I could say I lived so well with her. No time in my life. I was so happy because of my mother. The times I was happy is when it came to going to school. With that, she behaved differently. She liked us to run, and even me. So she took me to school, although I just assume it was because of that hatred. I was so ready to start my study one. I started when I was 9.5 years. God is good. I finished my study 7, and after that, she took it as her burden to take me to secondary school. My father never minded anything. She never helped the family. She was living in town, him and him alone, carrying his own life. So everything was for my mother, and she was borrowing help from her sisters and brothers who had a better life. I went up to Form 4. I praise God, but I couldn't continue from there. And so I left home. I liked it very much because I was suffering very so much. She was mistreating me so much at home. After I came to town, I came to Nairobi. Uh, I started looking for jobs wherever I could get something, a job. I never, I never was so uh, lucky to get maybe a permanent job somewhere. And so I had even to go for housework, like a house girl, where still met mistreatments from uh, those I was working for. At times, the the men who were the house owners, they mistreated me in a way, not mistreating me, but uh, they used to run after me, of which I didn't like at all. I knew the life I lived at home, and I knew there was a better life in life. There were better ways of living, and so that's what I wanted. Especially, I knew after school I could get a good job and start my own way of life. But it turned different. Um, I later, after having some ups and downs and still finding life to be so hard, just on move, I came across a man who we agreed to be married, and I got married. Uh, my life did not change. The man was beating me heavily, even more than my mother. With him, I could go even without food. We had children, and unfortunately, he got sick, of which uh, he, he got sick and was admitted. He took about 3 years being sick, uh, and life was very hard at that time. I had a very hard time in my life. After that, he never got well. He died. Before dying, he was admitted. We were meeting there with brothers-in-law, but it was rare. They rarely came. They used to come, but after a long time. When he died, before we buried him, one of his brothers came home and demanded his clothes. I wondered why he could come to demand his clothes from me, but he raised a reason as they want to take the clothes so that they may choose the best that he could they could use when on that day on the funeral, the one the body could wear. I refused. One day we met at the mortuary when they were coming from up country, because they told me never to attend the arrangements at home. They would carry on the funeral arrangements up country there at Rimuru, where I was married, and me to remain in town because that's where we used to live, and that's where most of our friends are. so that when they come home, they can get me. I found it as a good reason, but it was not so good. There was something bad behind it. I didn't learn that because when he was alive, they were good friends, but they had decided to do that so that they can make arrangements and start arranging how can they can take his property, if at all there was. Uh, on the day, so when we met at the mortuary, they were sent to come and pay for for for, for the mortuary, uh, to clear the bills so that because they had already set the burial day. So so to make it easier for them on that day, so that when they come, they would just collect the body, having the documents ready. We met there. Me, I had gone to know the way the body is kept there because it was since we kept it there, I had not gone back. And maybe fortunately, we met with them. It is me who had my husband's ID, and it was demanded. Failure to that, they could follow me at home for the ID. It is God who made this happen because uh, when I gave the the mortuary staff the ID to use it after he finished, he returned it to me, not learning that this brother-in-law who had come needed the ID to benefit himself. So when we were leaving the mortuary, we had left the mortuary buildings, but we were still in the Kenyatta compound. He snatched the ID from my hands. I was preparing to put it in my bag. Uh, when he snatched, he had come with his brother-in-law who has married his sister. Uh, I tried to request to be given back the ID, but I was not given. He refused. The brother-in-law requested the same. He refused with the ID and went with it. So after we departed, they went back home and to Limuru, and I came back to where I was living here in Nairobi. After that, it came the burial day. I went there early in the morning. I had to report to the Kenyatta Post what had happened. After reporting, the inspector told me he had to stop the removal of the body until we had come to an agreement. And so he gave me a letter. I took the letter to the mortuary staff, and it was stopped. When they came, they got the letter there, and they were shown the letter. It had stopped the removal of the body. So after the other people came, they got the removal of the body has been stopped by the inspector there. So they called me. They followed us where I was with my family, my friends, and there is an old man who chaired the funeral committee there at home. He came. Uh, he asked me. He asked him first. Uh, you you said the the removal of the body was stopped by his woman. Who is his woman? And what do you mean by saying his woman? Do you mean a woman? Maybe one who comes to do cleaning in his house and then he goes back home as she goes back home? Oh, you mean? Oh, what do you mean? One she lives with and not married? Oh, one who is married to him. He said it is his wife, married, who is married to him. And where is she? The man, the young man, my brother-in-law said she is the one here. And he was asked if she is the one, and she is your brother's wife, why did you have to take his ID from her? He answered, because he is my brother. I also have the right to carry his ID. The man said, no, you don't have the right to carry his ID. This man was sick, and she explained how if a sick person, you have a sick person, you really struggle with the sick person, nursing him when he is not able. Did you ever nurse him at any time? Oh, it is this woman who was nursing him. He kept quiet. Then the man said, talked to me, and he told me, yes, I have heard it, but I request you. We have many people here who have left their jobs and activities to attend the funeral. It was on a Thursday because the next day was a Good Friday for that year. So those people who had come, it is true they had left their businesses, they had left their jobs to attend the funeral. So I just took it so easy, and I found it light, and I had no reason to refuse the funeral to continue on the same day. So we went and buried. Before this, sorry, when at the post there, he was asked why by the inspector why he had to take the ID. He repeated the same answer that he has the right to be with it. The inspector told him, no, you have no right to be with your brother's ID. At the same time, it is illegal in Kenya to have two IDs. And he wanted to argue with the inspector. When he was asked the ID by the inspector, he refused. He said he forgot. And so the inspector persuaded him to give him the ID, but he refused. Then he told him, then give me yours. He said he forgot it as well. The inspector refused. He said, no. How could you come to remove a body from the mortuary without an ID? Is it possible? He said, no, I don't have it. The inspector asked some officers there, police officers, who were just not very far from where we were sitting. They were even hearing what we were talking, to move him from there. And where he was taken, I see something was being done to him. Something happened which was not so good. And when he came back, he was asked for the IDs, and then he gave him. Immediately he gave the IDs. And the documents he had taken using his name with the ID, we were ordered by the inspector to go to the city mortuary and change the names and be given uh, new papers which bear my name. And so we did it. So from there, we went, we were late. This took a long time. We were a bit late. We removed the body and we went and buried. But before, immediately we got home, I found that one of these young boys, his Yani, my brothers-in-law, had shifted from his house to which was our house and occupied everywhere. When we went to bury, we buried. They were talking some nasty words to me, although people could not really note, but me, I noted. And when we went back home from where we buried, we went home. That's where they told me to go and forget that home. There is nothing, showing me the house they have occupied, and there, I don't have anything in that home, be it a house, be it a home, or anything, or be it a house or that houses, or a farm, or that small shamba. And although I lived a hard life, that's where my life got even more hard and bitter. At the same time, on that very day, that man who had chaired the the funeral arrangements, also told me not to remember whatever is left there. He told me, these boys are bitter with you and don't try to come back. My father-in-law had died earlier 1 year. These boys were there. Their mother, or my mother-in-law, sided with them. So this man told me, when you come back here, you may lose your life. And so after leaving that place, I just left. There is nothing I took from my house, not even a blanket, not even what. I left the house as it was. I had to leave that shamba and I left. When I came to Nairobi, we were renting. I have children. They were at school. I had nothing to do. I had no one to go to. After 3 years after the burial of my husband, my father died. Who could help me? So I had a very, very bitter life. I have lived out with spent nights out with my children. We spent even without meals for many days. Many days, although not at the same time. We could go for 1 day, today we stay for another, after a week or so. And so I started struggling again. What do I do? I don't have a father, I don't have a husband, I have nothing, nothing in this world. We had our farm at home, our shamba, where we were born, but up to that time, uh, my father had talked with our brothers and had given the shamba to them. After they were given, they sold the shamba. Only before they sold is when my husband died, and even my father had died. I went to them. I borrowed just somewhere to stay and stay there with my children while I try to think what to do and the way of life and how I will live. But when I went to my brothers, I first went to the one who is elder brother who is behind me. I asked him to let me stay somewhere to give me his part. I, in fact, they were not living there even. No one was living there. They had rented to people. So he could tell one, stop this part, and then he gave it to me. But he refused. He refused and said, no, you have no share in this shamba because our father died. He knew you as girls, but he never left a part of the girls. And he never said anything about the girls. He said, this is our shamba. And I can't, in fact, give you anything because even our father did not give you and he was there. Let it stay as it is. And I had to go. After some days, I went to the second boy. The second boy. It is as if they had talked. He told me the same thing. He can't give any of the girls his part. Uh, Even the third one, they are three, gave the same answer. Me, I was wondering. I had no words to tell them because as the firstborn, there are times, it's not that there are times when all the time, I never had something. There are times I could do something, some work, uh, even if I was never employed permanent somewhere. I could work as a casual laborer in some companies, and I have some money. But whenever I had money, my money was almost going to my younger ones. I knew they are young, they have no money, mother is not so well up, uh, she needs help. So I used my money with them that time when I had money. But this time I have nothing. They tell me they can't give even a piece of land to me to stay. I really felt so bad. So I suffered like that. Uh, I started living. I found it as if it was still another way. I don't know what to say. As if it is another way of life which was brought to me. I have children now. I am renting. I have no work. I have no even house at home where I could at least go and do farming like those who are there. I have no shamba. I felt I felt I don't know what I could do. Uh, I I started getting sick so early in my life. But this was caused by the heavy thinking I had of my future and my two children. Uh, we were sent away by the landlords many times. That's how I started living a life of one who has nothing. You don't have a shamba, you don't have a house, you don't have one who can help you, and even I could say maybe these younger ones of me could help me, their lives are also miserable like my life. I'm just like that. Time went, my children grew through thick and thin. They also do not have a good life. They would look for work, anywhere to work, because they have no permanent jobs, which is today, as everyone knows, it is hard to get even those casual jobs. That's what I'm suffering. I'm suffering this time. What really aches in my heart is knowing that I don't have anything in my future and in my life. I have nothing. I'm just as I am, as I stand. I have nothing. With age now, it is gone. I don't have a house. I don't have a shop. I don't have a job. And even my age now does not, it doesn't allow me, because I've started getting sick. I have arthritis. These legs get swollen. As you can see, there are times when they are so swollen, even more than this. The the joints, uh, the leg joint, the leg joints ache so much. My shoulders, uh, and I can't be able to treat myself, to take myself for treatment, because I have no money. I get sick, instead of going to hospital, I go to bed. There are times I am sick, I don't even get somewhere to sleep, because the house in which I live is shut by the hard road. I am sick, I just stay outside. The padlock is there. It if the door is locked, I have nowhere to go. I just stay there at that door. Even if I could have no food, or at times I don't have food, but I would rather have somewhere to stay. If I am sick, I get somewhere to sleep. But I get sick, that's when I will think, what will I eat? Whom will I go to help me? Most people tell you, what can you do? I give you some work you do, and so that I pay you. In fact, I feel I can't work. And if I say I can do this, and then I'm given the type of work of that time to do, and then one comes to see I have not done it in the right way, or I have not done, maybe I have done it halfway, and the health, the body health does not allow me to continue. I know that's something I know. If only I had some money, I could go for treatment. But staying sick for a long time like this, the body is getting even more weak, and I can't move. I don't know where to go to get treatment, free treatment, even today. I don't know. So I'm just staying with painkillers. I'm even known there where I'm living that one, I've become a beggar. I go to the nearest shop. I tell the shop owner, please help me with some painkillers. I have a certain place which is so painful. At times I'm given. At times I'm told now, uh, we owe you big money. Do you think we will continue helping, giving you? This is a business. It is true. They need money. At times you are given. At times you don't get it, whatever you needed. That's the much I am suffering. As up to now. As up to now. I just pray God. I know I am happy to know God. I am happy. I know God is able. I know God is able, even though my life has been like this almost, not almost, even the whole of my life, many years. It is over 65 years now. I have lived this type of life. I don't want to say I'm tired because I'm not ready to die. I don't want to die. I know God can change things and I'll be happy in my last days. So what really makes me feel something or feel pain is not having a home, even a house of my own to live, even if it will be a single room or a big house. I would be happy. But even if it would be even a single room I live, the bad thing of it is that I don't know where, how it will come to be. This is the much of suffering. I have nothing. I don't know where to go to get that money. I don't know whom to go to ask for help, even to get a plot somewhere, even to get a room, but of my own, whereby tomorrow or the other day I will not be told your time of living here is over, but that place to be mine and my own, which I will have all the rights of. This is the much of suffering. I am so, I don't know what to say even. I have grandchildren. They are suffering just like this. Children of these boys, my sons, there are times they have nothing to do. I have to live with them. When we sleep, we just hardly as we spend in the day, I spend with them as I talk. It is too bitter. You better be hungry, you yourself, but not with the child beside you. Not with the child beside you. You feel as if you are not feeling hungry. You feel the hunger of this child. You failed. You miss words to say, to tell this child. And as a child, they ask questions. I have one grandson who faints. One day he fainted after waking up. After he stayed, he was well. He asked me, now, suppose I die, where will I be buried? That made me cry. It made me cry so much. He have learned that we I don't know, even I say we are like what? Because even birds are better because there are so many trees. And where there are no trees, a bird cannot miss a place to stand on. And they know they are free. A bird can build its nest anywhere. It is free. So a bird is far much better, many times better than me. This child ranch, we don't have a home, we don't have a house, we don't have a shamba, and he has seen people or had, although he was young not to have attended a funeral somewhere, but he knew people are being buried at their homes as to our tribe. He didn't know of community burial places. That one made me also to go to turn back my thoughts. What is this? Even a 3 by 6 to bury this child makes me remember and come to that I don't have even a 3 by 6 of my own. I don't have. I don't have. I am not after that. Because as I have said, me, I don't want to die so that I may have a place to be buried. No, I want to live and enjoy. I'm in this world, not by bad luck. God knows why He has kept me here. God knows there is something there I can be happy of, and I should be happy of living in this world. Enjoy. But all these chances I have missed. That's why life is like that. This and it seems not to change. Seems not to change. But I know there is God. I believe in God. I trust Him. And as the word says, God is never late. He will come at his own time. But I have waited for long. I have waited for long. I have waited for long. I wish this life will change. This is how I am up to now. Uh, it is my wish. See, the way I live as a beggar, I'm here still begging to those who could hear me or who are hearing me. If one has something to help me, if you have a place left with nobody, if you have something you can help me with, or anyway, maybe I can get treatment and get a healthy body that I can work because I know if I believe if at all I can be treated, I will get well and go back to normal and I can work. So I'm requesting whoever can have such something that can help me. That's the life I'm living, and I'm requesting for help from any well-wisher, any well-wisher. I'm living in a house. I have a big debt of the house. It is now going over 5 months, and I have always been one to prepare to leave their house and let them rent one who will be able to pay the house rent because uh, they use it as they use the house as a business house. That's what they rely in, and it is true. If I don't pay them, where do I expect them to get their help from? It is from that house. But I get nasty words from these people, from the landlord, the landlady. They have very bitter words towards me, very bitter, such that was it not that I I have their money and they can't let me move without having paid them. If so, they say they can't let me just go. Whatever is in that house will be their right if I want to leave. So then there is no way, I get no way of living there. If I go and I leave everything there, because even whatever is there is not, there are no expensive things for them to take and pay the the amount they owe me. Uh, may God help anyone who will hear me when I'm talking, feel mercy, and help me in any way that God will help you.